first, a story brought you at 5. We're learning more today about a shooting death in Ottawa County. We've covered this for a couple weeks now. Authorities say a man is in custody after a bullet from a gun went through the floor of a house, hit a teenager in the head and killed him. Our Kelly Lichter covered this story today. She joins me now here. Kelly, this is obviously a really tragic story to talk about, but walk us through the details that you learned today from the sheriff's office.
Yeah, so this shooting occurred on May 9th. We now know that it was at a house party in Talmadge Township, kind of on the Ottawa County, Kent County border there. And through court documents, we were able to learn that a 20-year-old man who's now facing a shooting charge relating in death, he had a rifle. It appeared that it was already at the house. There was alcohol involved. Some shots were put through the floor, and one of them got through the floor. I think maybe a couple got through the floor, but at least one got through the floor and hit a 19-year-old GVSU student in the head. He unfortunately passed away. So the charges were brought, against this 20-year-old today. He was cooperative, we're told, with the Ottawa County Sheriff's Department. They've been in contact with him. He turned himself in. This is a photo of him on the screen just then. His mugshot. Turned himself in, this morning, was arraigned, and it seems like at last check he bonded out of the Ottawa County Jail.
And you spoke with Captain Jake Sparks. We hear from him often with the Ottawa County Sheriff's Office. Talk me through a little bit of your interview, and then we'll play a clip from him.
Yeah, so one thing that I really wanted to talk to him about is, this mixture of alcohol and firearms. We've seen 2 cases in the past week. There was a case out of Grand Rapids' first fatal shooting
of
the year, the Wealthy Street shooting. That was alcohol and guns. There was the shooting this past weekend, earlier in the week, in Muskegon. That was an unintentional shooting. The person who died was not the target. This is a mixture of the both, alcohol, unintentional target. So I really wanted to talk to Sparks about, how can people stay safe? I mean, in Michigan, it is illegal to possess or shoot a gun if you're under the influence of alcohol and drugs. But, even if it happens, and even if you just, there's a gun in the area, I want to talk to him about how can you stay safe? What are some, helpful gun usage tips so that someone doesn't accidentally get hurt or, in this case, unfortunately die?
Yeah, a really tragic situation, and an unintentional one, but one that killed someone and also is going to result, as we're seeing now, in charges and that case following through. Let's play that clip now from Captain Sparks.
I would go into some general firearm safety rules that we can hit on today for the community to be aware of, and that's 1, always assume that every firearm is loaded. 2, don't point that firearm at anything unless you intend to shoot. 3, be aware of your target and what's beyond your target. 4, don't put your finger on the trigger till you're on target and ready to shoot. And then I would add in there, never use drugs or alcohol prior to or during shooting. And one step further, with the safe storage laws that are now in effect, make sure that you have those guns securely locked up and tucked away before anybody might come into contact with them.
I think that safe storage part is especially important now with safe storage laws here in Michigan. Even if you think that you and your family can be safe around a firearm in the home, that's not necessarily the case for people that you invite in.
Right.
And we've seen so many times, since this law has really been put into effect over the past year of kids getting in control of these guns. And, even though this was a 20-year-old man and a 19-year-old, teenager, I mean, really, they're young kids having guns in their possessions.
Yeah,
so
it's a scary situation. Those safe storage laws obviously in effect for a multitude of reasons because, obviously a young child has no idea what they're really dealing with. All right, well, we know you will continue to follow this case and see where it goes, but overall, some sobering reminders there from Captain Sparks and really a sad situation on both sides. All right, Callie, thanks so much. Well, other news today.